Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Monday! Happy Monday. You have made it through the weekend. I know, they just blow right by, right? You're just like, what? Already? It was so fast. What happened, Shelly Marie? I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. But tomorrow is a full moon, which means that it is basically at its fullest today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Yeah. So, which means tomorrow it will be at its fullest, at its brightest. But if you are a person that waits for moon cycles, good morning, older sibling, then you also realize that it's whatever manifestations or intentions you're trying to get done and put out there, and all the releasing and everything usually starts today. Really kind of ramps up tomorrow and then finishes on Wednesday. So the full moon is basically the start of, good morning, baby sibling. The full moon is basically the start of the waning moon, which means that if there's things that you need to get rid of, feelings, just setting your intentions to let go, to release, to let it wane right out of your life. All right, so as we head towards a new moon. But today, day one of the full moon, and it is a full moon in Sagittarius. So it's also considered in North America, named by our Native American tribes. I believe it was the Algonquins who started it, the strawberry moon. It is not going to be pink tonight, but it is considered the strawberry moon. And full moon in Sagittarius says, look at the bigger picture. Now, I'm going to be pulling these cards for the next couple of days, just because it is a full moon, and it is kind of fun to stay kind of in tune with it, right? So I'm just going to read the whole thing, and then we'll get into our day 4 of gratitude, all right? Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma? Fretting over minutiae can be counterproductive, or perhaps you're being all talk and no action. This card is a reminder that while it's good to think things through, sometimes you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you then see about your current situation? What's the most positive thought you can have about it? Okay, I'm reading these slow so you can get them. Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't have yet exactly what you want. This card is also a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. Attune to the moon. Take time out for a mini break or adventure. Mini break or adventure. Additional meanings for this card. The situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overconfident to win the day. So in other words, be confident, but don't be a butt about it. Have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. Find a balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. Filter. The full moon in Sagittarius is a time when we are reminded that life is an adventure and there's a big wide world to see beyond our backyard. It's about having fun and being prepared to sail into uncharted territory. It's about big ideas versus the details. No matter when you draw this card, it encourages you to look at the bigger picture. So what's interesting is this kind of goes with today's gratitude in a very, I'll show you how I'll tie it in, but it says, now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't have exactly what you want. So today's gratitude, it really kind of goes with it. But before I get into today's gratitude, just remember with this one, sometimes we have to step outside of the box to see the bigger picture. And it's not always easy. It can be very, very hard. Life can be either so mundane that you just kind of give up and stop thinking about it, or it can be so busy that you're so frazzled that you just can't. You can't go beyond anything that is literally happening in that moment. And those are when we have the quiet moments, when we have those moments where we just kind of gather our thoughts, right? I was reading an article today about the full moon in Sagittarius, and what was interesting about it is that apparently this moon is, I guess, well, where this moon is, it's the full moon in Sagittarius, but its ruling planet apparently is Neptune. And according to the article I read, Neptune is the planet ruler of Pisces, and Pisces, according to this article, are very dreamy, very kind of just very go with the flow, very chill, very calm, cool, and collected. And where the Sagittarian thing is, they need to know. So it's kind of like, it gets confusing because that's the balance they're talking about. They're talking about, you need to know, but you're supposed to embrace the unknown. And that's where going with the flow comes in. Embrace the flow. You have to embrace the flow. So if you're one of those people that has to know everything, has to be in that moment and say, I need the facts, I need the answers, just know that you're not going to know. That sometimes you just have to cast caution aside and be whimsical. Just when you see that wind whooshing by, just jump on and go for the ride. It isn't always easy. It can be hard, but embrace the unknown, embrace the uncertainty. Just, give yourself a moment to just stop and feel that whimsical feeling, to feel that, that kind of uncertain joy that you can feel. Uncertainty can be scary. It's change, because it's just like you're so used to being very regimented, very, Capricorns are like, from what I was reading from that article, Capricorns feel like they're Sagittarians on steroids. But I mean, in the thinking department of needing to know, having to have all the facts, being so regimented that you're kind of rigid, and it's like I'm talking to myself, but sometimes you just have to embrace that flow. Sometimes you just have to embrace the unknown and just go for it, or just see what happens. Friday I pulled a card, which was interesting because it talked about it talked about a mini trip or travel, and one of the oracle cards from Friday, which really kind of stuck out to me, was travel. And it says, a short trip could change your life in positive ways. And it's very possible. Now people are saying, oh, why? Well, if you really dig deep past the fact that it is an oracle card, you really get into the deepness, or the depth, of the idea of the card. A lot of times when we go away, or we're on vacation, or we're just away from our lives for a little bit, we get clarity because we're not stressing about everything that's around us. Sorry, I saw like a shadow. It was my cat. We're not stressing about everything around us. We're not in the same surroundings. We're not sitting there just kind of, just zoned in and zeroed in on everything that has to be done. All the stuff that, we need to take care of. We're allowing ourselves the opportunity to be free from all of that for a little bit. And I say opportunity because, I know people that take it with them. Sissy was one of those people. Sissy we'd go on vacation and she'd be bringing her work with her. On one trip, she literally brought her printer with her. We weren't really doing anything. We were in Sedona and it was the three of us, and we knew we'd have a day, and she had stuff that she needed to do because she didn't trust anybody else with it. And she wouldn't teach anybody else how to do her job. So, she would literally bring her stuff with her. And this time it was just because we were driving that she was able to bring her printer. But I'm sitting there like, you brought your printer? So, but we have that opportunity to step away for a little bit. Whatever you're worried about, whatever is freaking you out, whatever is causing so much stress, as much as I don't want to say this, I'm going to say it. It's still going to be there when you get back. But if you allow yourself some free time to just exist in the moment, in that fun moment that you're in, you have the opportunity to come back and face it with a fresh pair of eyes. You have the opportunity to come back and look at it and say, you know what? I didn't think about this before, but this is how I can handle this. Or, it's up to you. I think a lot of this is really kind of aimed at myself as well, because I'm going to San Diego in a few days. This weekend's Father's Day. And so I'll be in San Diego for a few days. and it'll give me time to just be away and not worry about, responsibilities and how it's going to get taken care of. So it's a little bit of a breather. So anyways, that being said, let's get into gratitude. Now, before I start the gratitude, I was watching the Tonys last night, but the Tonys were on CBS, and CBS has a show. Well, actually, it's on Paramount Plus now. I think it was on CBS like maybe 1 or 2 seasons, and then they moved it. So probably so they could make it even darker than it was. But there's a show called Evil. Okay, now before I lose you, it's about 3 people who, in their own ways, come together as a group, and they start trying. One's a priest, one's a psychologist, and one's kind of a techie guy but he's kind of into all that stuff, but also kind of their person who stands on the outside who's not quite a believer. It's been a while since I've watched it, and only because it's just kind of like, wait, what? And not because of the content, but it was just there were some things in there that I disagreed with, and it hit a little too close to my Catholic upbringing, and so I had to pull away for a bit. But because it felt very close-minded to me, but I'm sure it has since found its feet, so I really want to start watching it again. But they had a preview, and the 3 of these, I'll call them the Crusaders, right? These 3 Crusaders are sitting across the table from this one woman, and she's just talking, and they're showing different clips of different people, and she's talking, haven't you seen how people are getting angry? How people are angrier nowadays? How people are mad at everything, how people just yell at each other and disrespect each other and don't treat each other kindly or don't communicate or just, find any reason to be angry. Something along those lines. And then this woman, who is clearly the baddie, sits there and says, it's because your side is losing. And they all just kind of like, oh, crap. And it's funny because I've been feeling like this for a while, and a couple of other people that are very similar minded to me have been thinking this too. If you want to go back into religion for a second, you can, because they always talk about the battle of good and evil happening around you, right? It's always happening. There are people in this world who are always going to throw shit into the pot and stir it. Because they want to create that chaos. They want to create these problems. They want to ramp people up. And sometimes when they get into higher positions, they can use their power and charisma of speech to convince people to do bad things. To convince people that their way is the right way. The question is, do you want to be way over here, way up here, way down here? Where are you going to land? When you see somebody starting to lose their shit with you, do you feed into it? Or do you just calmly say, let's bottom line this? And if they're going to continue to be angry, just walk away. Because there's enough negativity in this world. And it's getting worse every day. And when I heard that comment in that preview, like 3 times when it was shown, it really hit me between the eyes, and I thought, I've got to talk about this. One of the reasons that we're doing, 2 months worth of gratitude, and not 2 months every day. Remember, just to reiterate, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays are going to be the gratitude days. Wednesday is still Self-Care Wednesday, and Friday will still be Oracle Friday. Although this Friday is up in the air because I do have plans on Friday. But, and it's not me making the time, so, it may be earlier or it may be very short. Or it may be non-existent. I don't know. I will keep you posted. But we have to choose to put positivity in this world. We have to choose to stop anger and negativity and all this hatred in its tracks. And people may say, well, I'm only one person. It starts with one person. Many trees have come from one seed. Many flowers have come from one seed. What you're planting a seed that may, grow fruitful and multiply. What? Cat? Boy, this girl. Stop it. Anyways. So, that's my point. Sometimes we think there's nothing we can do. But if one person plants the seed, imagine, again, the ripple effect, right? You throw a rock into the water, and it's one rock, but it creates many ripples. So you never know. And that's, what works for anger also works for being positive, for being good. And people are probably saying, yeah, you and your positive bullshit. You know what? I used to think that it was too much. But I'll tell you, it's what got me through my journey. Even on the days when I felt like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm so annoying. It's so blah, blah, positivity. But now I look at the world and I see where it's at. And I know this is what we have to do. If you're watching this, if there are things happening in this world right now that sometimes I have to steer clear from. Like after I post this to YouTube and then share it to Twitter, I may stay off social media the rest of the day just because there's things going on in this country right now that are just causing people to just bicker back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No one's stopping to listen to one another. They're just yelling at each other. Or they're just, one side is saying, oh my God, you're so stupid. And the other side saying, how can you not believe this? And then everybody in the middle are making their decisions. Or maybe some of them have already made their decisions. But it's just so much anger. And so much, animosity and craziness. And just people being horrible to one another. People who, if you removed politics, could probably be really, really good friends. If you removed religion, could probably be really, really good friends. But these things stop them from listening to other people. These things stop them from getting to know one another. And so they just group themselves. So, that being said, here's gratitude. I know, right? Hi, way to work that in. In ordinary life, we hardly realize that we receive a great deal more than we give. And that is why it is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. So again, in ordinary life, we hardly realize that we receive a great deal more than we give. And that is only with it is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. When we were talking about this and how it says, jeez, I already forgot what it said. Sorry, I got on my little diatribe there, or not I got on my little tangent. But what it says, now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't yet have exactly what you want. Now, sometimes we do have what we want, but we don't count our blessings. But we'll sit there and think, God, I have nothing. I have nothing. Well, let me tell you something. If you're watching this, you have electricity. If you're watching this, you have some sort of technology that other people don't have. If you're watching this in a coffee shop, even if, you may not be financially stable, but you're like trying to make something in your life happen. That's just it. You're trying to make something happen. So be grateful. Be grateful for the chair you found or the table you found at the local coffee shop. Be grateful for the money to have the coffee. Be grateful for the people that made the coffee. Or the person that walks by and smiles at you and says hello, or the fact that, they have free Wi-Fi so you can watch whatever it is you're watching, even if you just accidentally happened upon this. We have to learn to be grateful and to show gratitude for everything. The more we do that, the more we start to see what we have. All the things around us. All the beautiful opportunities that are around us. I'm grateful for my glasses. Yeah, I have contacts somewhere, but I know since COVID I haven't worn them. But I'm grateful for my glasses because I can see, so I can read. These are not the best ones for reading, but I'm grateful for the technology I have, for the microphone. I'm not sure how well the microphone works, but you know what? Excuse me. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the watch on my hand. Or the regular, normal people watch. Non-technology watch that I have in my jewelry box. That was a gift from Sissy. Actually, it was after she passed. But this is what this gratitude for day 4 is talking about. In ordinary life, we hardly realize that we receive a great deal more than we give. And that it is only with great gratitude that life becomes rich. You can have all the money in the world And I'm not saying money doesn't solve problems. I'm sure it does. But here's the thing. Money solves problems when you're in a good mindset. Money solves problems if you're in a bad mindset. But you get to keep the money if you're in a good mindset. Because when you're in a bad mindset and you don't appreciate things, it starts going out the window. You know, you're either buying frivolous stuff that you don't need because you're emotionally shopping, or maybe you're just out there emotionally eating, or, you know, and there are some people who are sad and, you know, just blue and gloomy who do have a lot and maintain that a lot. But what have they lost? Maybe they've lost friends. Maybe they've lost family. You know, I mean, look at Howard Hughes, right? He clearly had a dinged up mental health. And yeah, he had a lot of money, but he lost a lot of people in his life. He pushed them away without realizing he was pushing them away. You know, I don't know why that came up. That literally popped up in my head. So somebody's trying to make a point here. But, you know, but when we're not grateful for what we have. The reason I was talking about money is because it says that it is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. You can be rich and not have a lot of money. You can be rich and have like very minimal amounts of money in your account. Just several bucks in your account. And that can change because you're changing your vibration. It can change because, you know, you're even if it's your prayers. You know, if you pray, people always say, well, I can't pray to God for money. Well, okay, if you don't feel like you can pray to God for money, don't pray out of desperation, and don't pray out of like, well, just do it now. Pray from a place that says, I believe you're going to help me. And then stay open to the possibilities that can bring in money. You know, if some wackadoodle thing pops up in your head that's legal, then maybe someone's giving you a sign. And if you don't listen to those signs, how are you going to know? Right? Sometimes we have to learn to trust our spidey instincts. If you are going to put an intention, a manifestation, a prayer, or whatever out there, an intention, you have to believe that it will be delivered in one way or another. If you just put it out there all willy-nilly, then, you know, what do you think is going to happen? You know, it's like leaving the milk on the counter and thinking it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. It's going to spoil. You have to give some belief into it. Right? That was just a totally bad metaphor. But, maybe I need, because I haven't eaten breakfast yet. But, the whole point about gratitude is that even when you don't have a lot, it can make you the richest person in the world. A lot of people who do have money, who come into money, they're grateful for it. They show their gratitude for it. They show their gratitude by sharing it with other people or doing things for other people. I had a friend, or someone I knew, it was an acquaintance. It was more of a friend than somebody else I knew, who, you know, wanted to buy dinner because they said, you know what, when I'm doing well, I think it's good to share it. And I thought that was great, you know, and it's just, it's a sign of gratitude. It's a sign of, hey, you know, it's like putting out there and saying, karma, you know, you're not asking karma, hey, karma, see me, but you're saying, oh, look, you know what, I'm doing well, so I want to share this with others. When you start to hoard things, that's when you have the problems. And it's not because you're hoarding it, it's the mindset that I have to keep this all to myself or something bad is going to happen, and what's going to happen. You're not having faith in what you're asking for. I really feel like I'm talking to myself again. And when I say talking to myself, I know there's people listening, but I mean, I feel like some of these messages are just hitting me between the eyes because I struggle sometimes with faith. You know, I've been very, very honest about the situation I've been in since being laid off from my job, and how hard it's really been and how very stressful it's been, especially for the last several months. And you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting, but it's like I'll put out these manifestations and these intentions, these prayers, but then I'm doing exactly what I'm telling people not to do. I'm not having faith in it. I'm not believing that, you know, as scary as and small as the bank account begins to get, that something can happen, like an opportunity will come along, you know, maybe work or whatever. And that's the biggest part, is you have to have faith. and faith isn't about religion. Faith is trusting. Faith is believing. Faith is having faith, right? I called it the Trinity of Trust last week. And that's really what it is. It's the Trinity of trust. It's a Trinity of hope. Is trusting and believing. In the metaphysical world, under the law of attraction, ask, believe, receive. Right? That's how it goes. Ask, believe, and receive. And it's just like prayer. People will sit there, there's the show I told you guys I watch a lot where they're saying, well, I pray all the time. How come things don't happen for me? Well, because this person was praying, who was getting everything, was praying with complete faith. They were praying saying, okay, God, I know you're walking next to me, help me get this. Whereas the other person was praying to God and saying, well, out of desperation. And then, they'd pray and then they try to fix it. So, whether you're religious or not, whether you pray to whoever you pray to, or whoever you send your manifestations or your intentions to, when you do that, be grateful. Have gratitude. Because again, in ordinary life, we hardly realize that we receive a great deal more than we give, and that it is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. Think about it this way. If you're a child, and you're living a pretty decent childhood, okay? And I know there's a lot of traumas that can come with other people's lives, so this may not pertain to you. But, when I was growing up, I never knew how much money my parents had or not. I always had clothes, I always had food, I always had a roof over my head. We always had a car to get me to school. We always had, food on the table, electricity, TV, videotapes, because my father is a movie junkie. Records, right? Vinyl. And because my parents love music. And I didn't think about that till literally just now. That I never had to want for anything. So if I were to go back and tell my younger self something, I would say, you know what? Be grateful. But there are times, it's so funny too, because it's like, sometimes I would just literally, randomly, call my parents and just say, you know what? I just want to say thank you. Because I would think back to my childhood. I'd think about all these things. I would think about how, even though there was trauma in my life, that they kind of kept me, because like I said, they didn't know at the time, but they gave me a place to be safe without even realizing they were giving me a place to be safe. And, but I was also grateful for all the other things, the toys I had, the bed I had, just the stuff from favorite bands that I had, or favorite actors and stuff that, your little pinups on the wall, or the magazines. And I would think about these things. And I remember every so often I would call and it would just be like, I just wanted to say thank you. This was before texting, right, became a big thing. I just wanted to say thank you. And a lot of times it'd be like, okay, what do you want? It's like, I don't want anything. It's like, have I ever come to you and said thank you and wanted anything? No, I have not. But it's true. Even sometimes when I talk to my dad, he'll be like, I'll just randomly say thank you. And he'll be like, for what? I'm like, for being a great dad. I know people who don't have great dads. My dad didn't have a great dad or great mom. I'm grateful for the parents I had. Have and had. But even he'll be like, oh, well, and you can tell he's getting embarrassed because it's like, no big deal. It's my job. It's like, no, you know what? You didn't have to be a good dad. There are people in this world that have proven that. Straight up. And to those people, including the ones I know, I send all the love I have to you, because I can't imagine living a life without, the kind of parents I had. We didn't have a lot. We didn't have, we had what we needed. And we got to do fun things. And that's what was important. We were a family. So, and for me, it is only with gratitude that life became rich. That, thank you, baby sibling. But yeah, it's with gratitude. no matter how much you have or how much you don't have. If you don't have gratitude, you don't have anything. So, that's day 4 for gratitude. Tomorrow is a short quote, but it'll be a fun one. I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to do this because there's so many directions you can go with it. But just think about that, okay? We need to inject more good into this world. We need to inject more positivity into this world. We need to put religion aside. We need to put politics aside. And we need to start seeing each other as humans, as people, with feelings and thoughts and opinions and whatnot. And like I said, it's okay to have opinions. It's okay to have spirited debates. But when you step over that line and you make it personal, you're making it ugly. And, maybe you don't mean to, maybe there's just this anger or pain inside of you that's just coming out and sometimes we just can't stop it. It's like a flood. And then you're just like, whoa. And when you feel that happening, walk away. Just say, you know what? I need a moment. I need a moment or it's going to get bad. And once I actually learned to start doing that, because I had a lot of pain, I had a lot of healing I had to do. Hurt people hurt people. Okay? Did you catch that? Hurt people hurt people. People in pain hurt people. People who have healing to do hurt people. And that's not always the case. A lot of times they just get very secluded. But other times it's because it's this weird cry for help. And there would be times when I would feel this coming up. And this is only recently. I mean, this is probably in the last year, really, that I've really kind of gotten this down. That when, you start to feel yourself getting agitated and there's all these things that you want to say and you should just not say it, that I would just say, you know what? I'm not saying this conversation is done, but I just need to take a beat and walk away for a second, or it's not going to end well. And a lot of times they'll think, oh, why? What do you have to say? And I'll just say, it's me. Because I'm really wanting to make it personal now, because I feel like I'm not being heard. And that's when it gets ugly. That's when it gets bad. That's when people start fighting. When we start to remove all these layers from in front of us and start to actually look at a person, not, how, the world sees them, but as who you see them. When we pull away the skin, there's a soul in there. There's a beating heart and a soul in there. And that's who we should be getting to know. Not the choices people make, not their political affiliations, not their religious choices, not their gender choices, or their, their lifestyle choices, but the person inside. We've forgotten how to do that. And because we've forgotten how to do that, we're growing in a direction where the bad guys are winning. So, I'm going to read this quote one last time, just to get it stuck in your head. In ordinary life, we hardly realize that we receive a great deal more than we give, and that it is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. So again, just think about that, guys. All right. Please take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Tomorrow will be day number 5 of gratitude. I'm putting check marks next to these because if I don't, I'm going to forget. I know, I don't know how to read dates. But, but I do hope everybody has a great, great day. Take care of yourselves. Watch how you talk to people. I mean, God, a lot of times it's my tone. I swear to you, I have great resting bitch face, and apparently I have great resting bitch tone. And I don't mean to. Even my mom used to tell me, because she's like, well, why are you being so snappy with me? And I'm like, I'm not. This is just my voice. And she would tell me, you need to watch your tone. Just like, and I used to be very offended by that until one day I heard myself talking and I'm like, oh my God, I have resting bitch tone. I don't even know if that's a thing, but we should make it a thing. I have RBT, right? Resting bitch tone. And, baby sibling that's landed tonight lately with his tone. Oh, yeah, but he's becoming a young man, so you know, that's like I don't know, resting boy tone. I don't know. But yeah, so I need to watch that. But you see the point. When you have gratitude, you are rich. Okay? Don't think of it as in terms of just money or financial stuff or whatever. Think of it as abundance. Abundance isn't just about money. Abundance is about everything you have. Wealth is about money. Well, wealth can also be you could have a wealth of love around you, a wealth of joy around you, an abundance of love, an abundance of joy. It could be all these different things. It's not always about financial stuff. When you worry about finances, you're going to keep giving yourself a reason to worry about it. And as hard as it is to break that cycle, there has to be a way that you can find to break that cycle. Okay? So just keep trying, keep going forward, keep pushing forward. Don't give up. All right? But keep having gratitude. Be grateful for everything around you, because that will help you raise your vibe. That will help you see what you have around you, and that, you know what? It gives you and your vibration something to fight for, to maintain, and to keep, and to possibly make even better. Right? So, I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow for day 5 of gratitude. Tomorrow is Tuesday Thoughts. It'll be a good one. So, back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Facebook Live under Shelly Marie Lucas. It is public. Anybody can watch. Or I upload this right afterwards to YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. If you follow me on Twitter, you will probably see it there as well if you look for it, because I don't know what Twitter's doing lately. I don't follow some of these people, but then I get suggestions for people to follow, and so I don't see the point of why I'm following people when I'm not seeing half of their posts because I have suggestions. So I know that's a whole different conversation. So anyways, have a great, great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and for staying tuned in. Take care of yourselves, okay? And if you have a tone, and if other people are listening that are like me, that may be my nephew, watch your tone, okay? And I will do my best to watch mine as well. Have a great, great day.